This is Guide to Cheese, Part 1. Cheeses will be organized by place of origin and by varietal, or like what kind, what type it is. So this is Guide to Cheese, Part 1. Aldi, Part 1. Cheddars. And I have one cheddar that kind of got this whole thing going. It's like one day your new project reveals itself to you and you're like, oh yes, this my future has found me. I was walking around Aldi a few weeks ago, and off, like, separate from all the other cheeses on this like special shelf, there was this special cheese, some kind of cheddar in like wax, like perfectly sealed wax too. Here you can see this. And my mind, like, I can make up a story pretty fast. And you know the thing, like, when you're dreaming and during sleep, your whole dream only in human time lasted 30 seconds. It was your mind, like, making the dream up so quickly, like, just piling on details. So here in the Aldi's aisle, Aldi, whatever, looking at this cheese, I was like, cool packaging. All right. Check the price. I'm sure it was less than $5. I have no idea. I don't remember, but it was like, it's cheap. Aldi is cheap, right? But I'm like, oh man, check out the story on this one, and I just made it up. Like, yeah, the Aldi must have buyers that canvass the ports of Europe. I suppose they seem pretty European. And these buyers must occasionally just stumble upon great things. It's kind of like how Axeman suddenly has like a whole bunch of letter openers from some accounting firm that went broke 20 years ago, and X-Men ends up, so like, obviously that's where this came from. So yeah, Aldi must be like, they got 2 shipping containers of this stuff at an auction in Hamburg or something. And then at the same time, their other buyers were off and they found all this wax, this white wax, and a few 55-gallon oil drums of wax or something. Actually, it would have to be quite a few, because this wax on this cheese is like thick. I'll show you some pictures. Anyway, in the story, I just made this up in my head. And Aldi, being thrifty as it is, didn't take them long. They called up packaging and design and sent over a little concept. And within 72 hours, this stuff was on its way to stores, because that's how crisply Aldi can just take in excess or whatever. And then, of course, like, yeah, the cheese is obviously from like a little family farm in Ireland where the family members weren't getting along, and then one of them had to go in the hospital and they had to get rid of all this cheese in a hurry. I brought the cheese home, aged it some more, because like one of the things we're going to be talking about in the guide to cheese is like, cheese is aged, right? Is more aging better than less aging? Here in this situation, I felt it was, so I put it on the shelf for a while. And item B, does cheese need to be refrigerated? No. It was in the refrigerator section at Aldi, but it's a living thing. Let it out of the fridge. Let it enjoy some warmth before you eat it. So then finally I cut into it the other day, and this just goes to show you like how rich and nuanced cheese can be. You think cheese is just one category? It is. But there are like a lot of little subtle things that go into cheese. And I'm starting to do a deep dive now, and this is what I'm going to share with you. So like this cheese, I finally opened it. It's so satisfying to cut into the wax with a knife. And the wax is so perfectly white and super thick. Look at this cross section. It's like ratio of like 1 wax to 5 cheese or something. 1 part wax to 5 parts cheese. This is like, and it's tough wax. Like, I hope they got a good deal on it, because it's not very appropriate for packaging cheese, but whatever. You know, take a bite, and like the rich, nuanced flavor profile of this cheese, I was suddenly like, wow, this tastes exactly like camping gas, like naphtha, like in your on your hiking trip in the 80s when you spilled stove fuel on your plastic bags full of food, and just that tiniest little, it has that taste, that unmistakable taste. This is a complex cheese. I'm not going to rate cheeses. That would be like rating fellow human beings. I don't do that either. I'm just going to tell you this one tasted like fuel and like fossil fuel. And I don't know what that was all about, but that set me down this whole new path. And one of the things I'm going to do is there's a really good fermenting book. It's like the Fermenter's Bible. I think it might even be called that. I'll check later. Here's a cover. And I'm gonna look through this and see, because I think it actually has cheese in it as one of the chapters, and I'll report back to you on that. And of course, we're making cheese, like that's happening, just not here today. This is just like a little teaser. So yeah, cheese, interesting and ubiquitous, kind of. I mean, there are probably not many days of my life that I didn't walk right past some cheese in one form or another. It's kind of everywhere. It's a great gift when I'm invited to somebody's birthday party at a bar or something. I feel like I should bring something, but I'm not sure what. Bring something that they wouldn't get for themselves, so it's going to be special. In fact, that's not travel advice. Advice number one: when you're getting a gift, get the person something that they would never actually think to get for themselves. Maybe because they don't feel they deserve it, or it's too expensive, or maybe because it's just something they would never notice. Like make their life more interesting. Don't just show up with like Elmer's glue if they're really into crafting, or like craft supplies. That's what I meant by glue. So when I'm invited to things, I'll often show up with cheese as my gift, often just in the shopping bag, and I'll find interesting cheeses. I'm not talking run of the mill type stuff. There's a national strategic cheese reserve that some like weirdo travel blogger has probably already gone and looked at, and I'll leave you to look that up. But that's something we could talk about. Then it's mostly just the rich diversity of cheese, and whew, I live 20 miles or so west of what, name a dairy state if you're here stateside in the US. Like, okay, Vermont, maybe. You're going to name Wisconsin pretty high on the list. Wisconsin is like kind of the only thing it's known for. Like maybe a couple other things too. Like Otis Redding died there, which is horrible. Like, don't, I don't even want to think of it. That's what a sad day. Like, there are a few things that have happened in the history of Wisconsin, but it's mostly known for cheese. So I'm actually in Wisconsin now, and I've been stopping off on my route to Wisconsin and just getting photos of the roadside cheeses because they vary. Here is the kind of small but high quality or high something cheese selection at the store right by my house. This is still in Minnesota. And a lot of times now they're packaging a little bit of like cured meat and cheese together. And then I just kept stopping and taking more pictures. Here's at this gas station in Baldwin, Wisconsin that actually turns out to have really good smelling Indian food. I'm gonna try it tomorrow on my way home and actually see if it tastes good. Really friendly place too. Here that is. Forget it. If you need gas anywhere along 94 in Wisconsin, just go to this place and get Indian food. Holy cow. Even if it's not that tasty, it smells so good in this place. Then at the store today near this little shack where I'm staying, there's like, you can see there's a lot of different kinds of cheeses, and I don't have the resources or the time, whatever, to like try them all and report back to you, but I'm just going to try to identify things about cheese. We're going to learn about cheese together. It's a question of like, it's the old like who rescued who thing, or who's teaching who or whatever. Because like in the comments, for example, or like, wait, have you subscribed? Oh, wait, yeah. Yep, there you go. Okay, comments though, and tell me what you know about cheese. I don't know a lot, and my advice to you, advice number 2, like non-travel advice, just advice. Number two is this. Like if you, and this is universal beyond cheese, by the way, and universal beyond the self-guided tour reverse that you're in right now with me. Thank you for joining me. It's like if somebody says, hey, over here, you know, there might be like a little box that you could click below this video, put there by the bots or whatever. If you click on something and some guy comes on or somebody comes on and says, I'm the expert of cheese. I'm the I know everything there is to know about cheese. Like, be wary of someone that claims to have a whole bunch of knowledge or something. I don't. We're gonna learn together. I just know that I like cheese mostly, and then I like a few other odds and ends about cheeses. So we'll go through different cheeses and we'll explore the flavor nuances, and along the way we'll find out what cheese actually even is. The end.